Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend, and welcome to the month of April. Boy, do we have an exciting April coming up. Looking forward to sharing everything with you. For today, though, we of course have your news headlines. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with Jean-Pierre Isbouts. You're going to really enjoy this. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines. In Mississippi news, Canton, Mississippi's Hannah Everhart advances to American Idol Top 24. An American Idol contestant from Mississippi has made it to the live shows. Hannah Everhart of Canton, Mississippi, performed Miley Cyrus' Wrecking Ball this week for the Idol judges. Her performance was good enough to earn her a spot in the Top 24. Having the judges believe in me the way that they do, and thinking that I was good enough to be in the top 24 was just a proud moment for me, Everhart said. During the live portion of the competition, Everhart will sing a duet with country music star Jason Aldean. Just getting to sing with him, and the song that we are singing together is country, and that fits me to a T, Everhart said. It is an upbeat song, it is a rowdy song, and it will give me that moment to give that stage presence and show them a different side of me. Everhart said with this being her first live performance for America, she knows the pressure will be on, but she is ready for it. In more Mississippi news, film starring Bruce Willis is shooting in downtown Jackson, Mississippi. Bruce Willis is starring in a movie currently filming in downtown Jackson, Mississippi. Dozens of people gathered on Capitol Street Tuesday to watch the crew work. People in downtown Jackson say they didn't expect to run into a major movie set with an A-list actor this week. I got to see Bruce Willis. They drove him up in a Cadillac SUV. He had the windows rolled down, grinning and laughing at all of us. We were all cheering for him too, said the nearby business owner Abby Graves. Filmmaker Curtis Nichols says they're shooting a movie called A Day to Die. The film has a lot of action shots, including car chases, explosions, and gunfire. It's a film that's set in the South. It's about some guys that are trying to rob a bank, and so the city is going against that and trying to stop that, Nichols said. Nichols moved to Jackson around 9 years ago. He said he helped bring this movie set to the capital city because he loves Jackson. Nichols says Jackson is appealing for filmmakers because there's good scenery and a good local talent pool. Mississippi also offers cash incentives to movie makers. The state may give you anywhere from 25% to 30% of whatever you spend back, Nichols said. Nichols said city leaders in Jackson are actively courting movie makers because of the revenue boost with money spent on hotels and restaurants during filming. In national news, store cashier expresses disbelief and guilt over George Floyd. The convenience store cashier, who was handed a counterfeit $20 bill by George Floyd, setting in motion the black man's ill-fated encounter with police, testified Wednesday that he watched Floyd's arrest outside with disbelief and guilt. If I would have just not taken the bill, this could have been avoided, the 19-year-old lamented at Officer Derek Chauvin's murder trial, joining the burgeoning list of onlookers who expressed a sense of helplessness over Floyd's slow death last May. Prosecutors used the cashier and other witnesses to help lay out the rapidly escalating sequence of events that ended in tragedy. They also played store security video of Floyd inside Cup Foods and still more footage of him outside, adding to the mountain of video documenting what happened. Together, the witness accounts and video began to show how events spun out of control as a scene of people apparently joking around inside the neighborhood market soon gave way to the sight of officers removing Floyd from his SUV at gunpoint, struggling to put him in a squad car, and finally putting him on the ground, where he was seen kicking as police forced him onto his stomach. Chauvin, 45, is charged with murder and manslaughter. The most serious charge against the now-fired officer carries up to 40 years in prison. In more national news, suspect in attack on Asian American woman in New York City is arrested. A parolee convicted of killing his mother nearly 2 decades ago was arrested on assault and hate crime charges in an attack on an Asian American woman in New York City, police said early Wednesday. Police said Brandon Elliott, 38, is the man seen on surveillance video attacking the woman near Town Square on Monday. They said Elliot was living at a hotel that served as a homeless shelter a few blocks from the scene of the attack. He was taken into custody at the hotel around midnight. Tips from the public led to his apprehension, police say. And finally, in entertainment news, Chrissy-Teigen graces cover of People's Beautiful issue. Chrissy-Teigen will grace the front of People magazine's The Beautiful issue in a cover story that delves into her evolved definition of beauty, facing racism growing up and her heartbreaking miscarriage last year. The magazine revealed the cover Wednesday of the annual issue, which hits newsstands on Friday. On this year's cover, Teigen appears smiling, along with her children Luna and Miles, with the quote, "I've learned how strong I am." Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Spiritual energy has the power to transform. Spiritual energy has the power to transform any situation in your life. It carries a high frequency of beneficial energy. When your spiritual energy is present, use it to heal or transform any relationship or situation in your life. To bring your spiritual energy forward, sit in a quiet place and gather a mental picture of what you wish to transform. Imagine projecting a soft white light towards this mental image. Feel your issue melting away, bringing you back into balance. By focusing your energy toward a specific outcome, you create a positive impact on the situation. As you focus, you begin to transform and or heal any of your old wounds. This energy then spreads outward into the physical world and balance into other areas of not only your life, the lives of the people you touch. Today, dissolve disharmony and inspire growth by calling on your spiritual energy and God. And remember, enjoy your day.
Jean-Pierre Isbouts is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Jean-Pierre Isbouts joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about how he's been able to take his unique interests and share them literally with the world. Here's a bit of our conversation.
For myself, I've been following your work for quite some time. What I love is the perfect marriage that you have of your interest, of not only history and art, but also I think, to be able to take us into places that we think we know or there are so many questions about. What has that been like for you to share your own curiosity with the rest of us?
Well, it's been a long journey for me. I started in graduate school. I studied musicology, history, and archaeology. I couldn't make up my mind what I was going to do, so I did all three. And I was very early on really smitten by the discoveries that were coming out of the Holy Land. We're talking about the 1970s when biblical scholarship was in the post-war era was really starting to rise. And the figure of the historical Jesus fascinated me because the Gospels are wonderful documents. They're wonderful stories, but there's lots of gaps. Partly because the evangelists wrote in the Mediterranean basin. Mark, for example, wrote in Rome. And so if you want to know about the practical aspects of life in Galilee, what was it like? What did you do in the morning when you woke up? If you went across the Sea of Galilee, what would the boat look like? Where'd you get a boat? And how did you pay for it? All of these practical things the evangelists don't really address because they didn't live there. And so that's what I set out to do. And so for many, many years, I collected all the documents I could find. There is, of course, the history of the Jews by the Jewish historian Josephus from the 1st century. He lived in Galilee. He talked from his personal experience. And then there are wonderful Roman documents that most people perhaps may not be aware of, particularly records of agriculture in Egypt. And there is the Jewish Mishnah, which is a collection of debates that go back to the 1st century.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.